Okay, so the first reason I think the Sigma 28-70 is actually the perfect lens for this camera, the Panasonic S5, is that you can vlog like this with it at 28 millimeters, and S5 obviously has decent stabilization. 28 millimeters, you can see quite a bit behind me. I have it set to f8 right now, so you can actually see everything behind me, but if I want everything blurred out, I can mess with the aperture, obviously. But, you know, if you like vlogging like this, I think this lens is perfect for that, so let's move forward. Okay, the other thing I love about this lens, it works really well with this camera using autofocus. And okay, I'm not somebody who generally uses autofocus all that much, but this works really well together. And if you're using the Lumix app, which I use all the time, you can really control things with this. So I highly recommend it. It works really well. And this is a 28 millimeter perspective. And I think the main thing that I love about this lens is that it gives you different perspectives without having to change lenses. So let's go to a different perspective. And so now we're at 50 millimeters, which is kind of cool. The other cool thing about this lens, it's f2.8 across the board. So from 28 millimeters all the way up to 70 millimeters, I don't have to worry about changing my exposure. And so that's kind of cool too. And as you can see, I'm sitting in the exact same spot in the same area, and it looks completely different because we're shooting at 50 millimeters now. So it's a little bit more focused on me as opposed to everything around me. The first time you saw this, you were kind of in an entire environment with me sitting inside of this space that I'm recording in. Right now, it's much closer to me. As a matter of fact, let's get even closer. So now we're at 70 millimeters, so you're really kind of honed in on me. As a matter of fact, my head is almost coming out of the frame. But as you can see, I didn't have to do anything with this lens other than change the focal range. So I went from 28 millimeters to 50 millimeters to 70 millimeters. So let's keep talking about how this is really easy to use and the perfect lens for this camera. All right, so a really cool thing, we're at 28 millimeters. I'm probably 30 feet away from the camera right now. And I just want to show you how sharp this lens is. Like, you can definitely see me through this fence. You know, if I was like at a game watching some kids play, or if I was in some kind of a place waiting for somebody to meet me or something like that, you know, you would actually be able to see me really clearly, or you can actually see me really clearly. I'm sorry I looked up because I saw these beautiful birds, and I can't believe I'm missing this shot right now. But maybe I'll catch them later. So anyway, that's another reason that this lens is perfect for this camera. It is really uber sharp. Something else I'm thinking about. This is so slick right now. I am the same 30 feet away. I'm at 70 millimeters. I am shooting at f2.8. So you can focus in on me and blur out the fence in front of me and everything around me like we're 30 feet apart. And I should look pretty clear to you right now. So that's a very, very cool thing. This lens is very, very capable of that kind of work. And of course, using the Lumix app, that's everything. So that's another reason why I love this lens. It gives me a lot of capability. Oh my God, these birds are going crazy. I mean, look, I am mainly a filmmaker who uses prime lenses. You know, there's no doubt. I mean, I have two lenses that I'm absolutely in love with. I have a Minolta 50 millimeter f1.4, a Rokkor lens. It's a vintage lens. I have a Minolta 28 millimeter f2.8. I love the way they look. I love the way they feel. They're light. They're incredible. I love them. But I guess the reason I think this lens is perfect for this camera is because I would say 90% of the time when I'm not making an actual movie and I'm just out shooting or doing, you know, videos like this lens is so flexible, it's so easy to use, it works so well with this app. Like, I'm able to manually focus myself from like 25 or 30 feet away from the camera right now, and the app works, like it connects to the camera. So I think because it's light, it's sharp, it doesn't really have any kind of character unto itself, like it just kind of looks like whatever the camera looks like. It doesn't have its own colors, it doesn't have anything like that. So you're getting Panasonic colors. I just think that the Sigma 28-70, all things considered, is the perfect lens to have with this camera for 85 to 90% of the shooting that you're doing. If you want to do some really stylized work, then yeah, I think you should use manual lenses, and I think you should, you know, be really as creative as you can with, you know, the uniqueness of those lenses. But for overall work, just getting the work done, you know, for the convenience, for kind of, you know, not allowing circumstances to get in the way of your creative work, I really do think that this Sigma 28-70 is the perfect lens, at least for me, for my Panasonic S5. So let me bring this closer and finish this up. So I say all of this to say that even me, the person who loves to use manual lenses, manual prime lenses all the time, I can no longer say all the time, because I realized as I was filming this movie that I'm working on right now that I needed a good solid zoom lens for my camera, because sometimes it's just more convenient and there's so much stuff going on and you're trying to organize and coordinate different people and different circumstances, and you know, sometimes things happen that you're not ready for, and you know, you have to be able to adjust. I think having a lens like this is really, really positive and is going to really help your filmmaking. So the Sigma 28-70, in my opinion, because it's light, because it's sharp, because it's flexible, it's got an f2.8 across the board, it's cheap compared to most of the other zoom lenses that you can get for a full frame camera, Panasonic anyway. Yeah, Sigma 28-70 f2.8, perfect lens for the Panasonic S5. And I'm talking about the original S5, the OG. Thanks for watching. All right, I just realized I forgot to add something, and I'm obviously using the audio on the camera again because I put everything in my bag. But I just wanted to say that I also thought about the Panasonic 24-105. I thought about the Sigma 24-70, and you know, those are great lenses, and I think great options as well to kind of cover all the capabilities of this lens. But I think all things considered, because of the price and also how light this lens is, even though it doesn't have in-body stabilization, but the stabilization in the camera works really well, and I don't think you really need additional stabilization when you're doing stuff with this lens. I mean, that's why I think that this is a better choice than those lenses. I think the build quality is really good on this lens. I kind of beat the crap out of my equipment. I'm not worried about hurting this thing. So yeah, I realize that there are other options, you know, there are a lot of other options, but they cost much more money, and I don't think they're really worth the difference in price. So that's just my 2 cents, but hey, that's me. I think at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you.